Okay, picture this. You've got your usual credit card in your wallet, right? Now imagine that same kind of card being offered to a street vendor, someone selling chai or vegetables on a busy street corner. And what if that card had a limit of up to 30,000 rupees? It sounds kind of wild, but it's actually happening in India. So what's the deal? And is there a catch? Let's get into it. But here's the part that'll really make you stop and think. The idea that this credit line, this 30,000 rupees, could be, well, free. How on earth is that possible? Are we talking about free money here, or is there something else going on? That's the big question we're going to answer today.
Just take a second and let that number sink in. 30,000 rupees. For a street vendor, that's not just money. It's a game changer. It's the difference between being able to buy fresh stock every single morning or having to go to those local moneylenders who charge crippling interest rates. And this is the maximum limit we're talking about.
So, to get our heads around all this, here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll look at the credit card itself. Then we'll zoom out and understand the bigger program it's part of, the SVANidhi scheme. We'll see how this card is different from the old loans, then walk through exactly how someone can get one. And finally, we'll look at the big picture, why this matters so much. All right, let's dive right into Section 1, a credit card for hawkers. We're going to tackle that free claim head on and see what's really behind it. So, how can they call this card free? Well, it's actually pretty straightforward. There's no joining fee, zero, and no annual fee, ever. It's a lifetime free card. But the most important part is this. You get an interest-free period of anywhere from 20 to 50 days. That means if a vendor uses the card and pays the full amount back before the deadline, they pay absolutely no interest. It's also a RuPay card, which is India's own payment network, and it's hooked up to UPI, so making digital payments is super smooth and easy. Okay, on to Section 2. Now, you can't really get the credit card without understanding the program that created it, the SVANidhi scheme. This whole thing didn't just appear out of thin air. It's got a really important backstory. So the scheme was actually born during the COVID-19 pandemic. Back on June 1st, 2020, it was launched as a lifeline for street vendors. I mean, these are the folks who were hit incredibly hard by the lockdowns. The idea was to give them loans to get their businesses back on their feet. And the two magic words here are collateral free. They didn't have to pledge any property or assets to get the money. And this is where the system gets really smart. It's built like a ladder. A vendor starts out with a small loan up to 10,000 rupees. If they pay that back on time, great. They can climb to the next rung and get a bigger loan of 20,000. And if they handle that one well, they unlock a third loan of up to 50,000. It's a system that builds trust and rewards good financial habits, all while creating a formal credit history for people who were basically invisible to banks before. Which brings us to Section 3. The scheme already had these loans and they were working, so why bother with a credit card? What makes this such a huge leap forward? Well, the biggest difference is just in how the money works. A term loan is a one-time deal. You get a lump sum of cash, and you have a fixed schedule to pay it back. It's perfect for starting up. A credit card, on the other hand, is what we call revolving credit. It's more like a flexible pot of money you can dip into, pay back, and then use again. It's just so much better for handling the day-to-day ups and downs of a small business. Yeah, just think about it. A vegetable vendor needs cash super early in the morning to buy produce at the wholesale market. But by the evening, after they've made their sales, they have that money back. Revolving credit lets them access those funds right when they need them, without filling out a new loan application every single time. It's all about being nimble. Okay, Section 4. So how does a vendor actually get their hands on one of these cards? It's not like they're just handing them out to everyone. There's a very clear path you have to follow. So here's the most important thing to remember. This credit card isn't the starting point. It's a reward. It's for people who have proven they're financially responsible. A vendor has to first join the SVANidhi scheme, take out their first loan, and pay it back on time. Then they have to take their second loan and pay that back on time too. Only after they've done all that and become eligible for the third, bigger loan can they then apply for this credit card. And what about the paperwork? Well, they've tried to keep it pretty simple, using documents most vendors would already have. You're going to need your Aadhaar card, a PAN card, and of course, some proof that you're actually a street vendor. That could be a certificate of vending or a letter from the local authorities. And here's another really key part. The whole application is digital. You can do it right through the official SVANidhi website or on their mobile app. This doesn't just make the process faster and easier, it's also a big push towards getting more people comfortable with using digital financial tools, which is a huge goal in itself. And that brings us to our final section, and it's a big one. why does any of this really matter? Because, this whole thing is about so much more than just money. It's about fundamentally changing how we see and support a massive part of our economy. This quote really just says it all, doesn't it? It perfectly captures the spirit of the program. It frames this credit card not just as a financial tool, but as a step towards leveling the playing field. It's about bringing something that was once seen as a luxury for the rich to people who have always been on the outside of the formal economy, looking in. And here's the real big picture. Every single one of these cards helps build a credit history for someone who was previously considered unbankable. It's a way to pull people away from those predatory moneylenders who trap families in debt for generations. It helps people stand on their own 2 feet, and bit by bit, it brings this huge, vital, informal sector into the mainstream economy. And the ambition here is just massive. The goal is to reach 1.15 crore street vendors. That's more than 11 million people. This is not some small pilot program. It is a full-scale, nationwide effort to change the financial lives of millions of micro-entrepreneurs. And this isn't just a bunch of nice ideas or promises. Here you can see the actual official letter from the government laying out the new rules for the scheme. And it specifically talks about these UPI-linked RuPay credit cards with a limit of up to 30,000 rupees for vendors who have successfully paid back their second loan. It's all right there in black and white. So that leaves us with one final, very big question. By connecting small loans to a system that actually rewards people with modern tools like a credit card, India is building a really powerful new model. Could this be the blueprint? Could this be the thing that redefines how countries all over the world help bring their own informal economies into the fold? It's definitely something to think about.